Okay, good morning, good afternoon, sisters and brothers of Local 479. I'll bring this meeting to order at 2 p.m. on the 19th of April, 2020. We'll begin with a roll call of officers. I am your President, Ray Brown. I am here. Vice President Whit Norris.
I'm here.
General Secretary Treasurer Frank Hatcher. Frank Hatcher is here. Business Agent Mike Akins.
Here.
Director of Membership Kevin Amick is here.
Here.
Sergeant at Arms Kathleen Tonkin is here.
Here.
Delegate to the AFL-CIO Kevin Cheatham is here. Thank you. And Delegate to the Georgia Labor Council Myra Foy is here. Myra, yep. Can you hear us, Myra? She's looking. She's here. Myra, can you hear us? Okay. We may have lost contact with Myra, although I do see her on the screen. We also have on the screen, aside from our executive board, is our legal counsel, Brother Bob Giolito. We thank you for being here, Brother Giolito.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We're going to have an abbreviated meeting today, sisters and brothers, across our country, across the IA, nationally and internationally. Many locals are canceling their meetings, and for obvious reasons. And that was discussed with our executive board as well, just cancel the meeting. And we felt it was prudent to be able to do something. Clearly, we're coming to you today on a platform called Zoom. We all know the issues with Zoom. It is not a stable platform. This is best suited for family time and friends gathering. This is absolutely not a formatted option for any kind of business transacting. So as you were made aware in the emails that went out, there will be no voting today. There will be no business transacted until we can all come together. And hopefully that's in the coming months. We'll see. I wanted to take an opportunity to discuss with you today as part of my president's report. As you can see, I do have my laptop open, but that's my agenda for the meeting. I do not have any notes in front of me. I compelled myself to write a very slick, very well worded, very well put together president's report, but that is simply not our reality. This is not the time, in my opinion, for slick reports, fancy words, and well thought out reasoning or approach to answer some of the tough questions. I think more than anything right now, at least from the people I've been corresponding with since this incident occurred, since we were shut down over a month ago, is that people are looking for solid leadership right now. And so that's what the executive board at Local 479 has been trying to do. We were shut down, I believe, in and around March 13th. That Friday is when most of us were told that we're working. We're told that we were being shut down. That's when the industry shut down, March 13th. I'm going to try to stay away from me and I and keep it to us and we. But those of my fellow filmmakers that have been in the business any length of time have never experienced anything like this. This is unprecedented. It's never happened to us before, and I pray it will never happen to us again, but there are no guarantees. So here we sit 4 weeks into a shutdown with no clear end in sight. We do have some hope that we'd like to share with you today, but it is hope only, and hope is a fragile thing. I understand that in my personal life. I certainly understand that as your president. So we're going to be very careful today to get the information that we can get to you. Keep it concise, keep it factual, and do the best we can. While I appreciate the mantra out there being that we are all in this together, it is not suited for the motion picture business right now. We, the filmmakers, we, the members of the IATSE, 150,000 strong, are experiencing a 95% work shutdown. I was explaining to some of my e-board members this week, it's so surreal for me to make my once a week trip away from my house for provisions and to be sitting in my car, gloved and face masked, and to be watching people all around me, business as usual, stores open, drive-throughs open, people still working, plumbers, electricians, everyone's still working. Yet I sit in my vehicle and I've been unemployed for a month with no real end in sight. So we're only in this together if you're a motion picture worker right now. If you're an American, we're not all in this together. Many people are still working, and we are not. Our industry has been gutted by COVID-19. I received a letter this week from the Netflix show that I'm currently working on. And the letter started out very, very nice. You know, we're all very looking forward to getting back to work, and we can't wait to see everybody again. And then in the next paragraph, it goes on to say, hopefully this is within the next 6 months. 6 months. The letter did go on to say that things could change at any moment and that we could find ourselves in a completely different position. But the reality of that set in with me. And not as your president at this moment, but as your fellow setmate, I have to tell you that we need to hunker down for a long haul. I've had thorough discussions with the executive board. We were very careful to make sure that we do not put any information out there that would give anyone false hope. And with that said, clearly, we won't be going back to work in April. And clearly, we will not be going back to work in May. And there is a glimmer of hope, a very small glimmer of hope based on innuendo and some conversations that have been had with some of the studios that maybe in June, we might see some pre-production activity. And that is the only glimmer of hope that we have been able to discuss and feel like we can put out there to you at this time. Other than that, our reality is what we're experiencing right now. We are going to be stuck in this for a given amount of time. Nobody has any answers. This is an international pandemic. Local 479 is doing what we can to be good fiduciaries of the funds that we have, knowing that we have bills that will not stop, i.e., our short and long-term disability bill runs $70,000 plus a month. We have no intention of stopping that. And that's one bill. So we're a very large local. We have a lot of member services. And at this time, we're able to continue to provide all of those member services at least through May 1st. The first part of May, the executive board will be faced, I'm afraid, with some very tough decisions. We are prepared to make those decisions. We're prepared to work through this and do what we have to do to keep Local 479 and its members safe and protected. And please understand, when you phone this hall and you say things like, I and me, understand that it's we and us. It's not just your family that's suffering. There's thousands of members suffering right now. My entire family is in the motion picture business, to include 4 extended family members, nephews and nieces. I understand what this business and the lack of production is doing to your family because I'm living it with you. And just suffice it to say that we have some tough times ahead, but that we will get through this. And there is a light, a very bright light at the end of this tunnel, this very dark tunnel, and we'll get there, and we'll get there together. And we're going to continue to do what we can here, monitoring the situation hourly, daily. We'll get you the latest information out as quick as we can get it out. In a couple of instances, as soon as we get the information out, 3 hours later, we get different information. We do our best to make these corrections and get it back out to you. It's no one's fault here. We're doing the best we can in an unprecedented situation that no one in there, no local was prepared to handle. We've been through writer strikes before. I get it. Writer strikes take about 60% of the workforce out, not 95% of the workforce. All right, brothers and sisters, couple of quick things here, and I'm going to pass this over to our General Secretary Treasurer Hatcher. We're able to do small pieces of business. We can't do big, broad stroke business. As you know, we have canceled all of our social events. Included in that is also the Pride event and parade. That's also been canceled. We have no active committees working. I have taken it upon myself to shut all committee work down. Recently, Friday, we had an executive board meeting once again, and as some of you may be aware, we have members out there who are doing great things in the community as we speak. We have a sister who's in the craft service side of things, and she's providing meals for frontline workers. We have so many of our costumers making masks and sending those to our hospitals. We have other brothers and sisters that are working through this free of charge. So I asked the executive board for a $10,000 allotment. That was approved unanimously by the executive board. These funds will be used to help support these members who are in the community doing great things. We will not be paying the members directly, but we will be buying their supplies, buying anything they need to continue to do their good work. So that's available. And if you know of someone in the community right now, one of our brothers or sisters who are doing great things and could use some monetary funding, I would advise you to have them get in touch with any one of the members on the e-board, whoever you feel most comfortable having a conversation with. In turn, that executive board member will contact me. We'll have a discussion, and we'll do the best we can to facilitate the needs. I'll talk to you again when we conclude this meeting. And at this time, I'll turn it over to General Secretary Treasurer Frank Hatcher for some broad stroke reporting on our finances. Brother Hatcher.
Thank you, President Brown. As you know, if you have looked at the financials on the website, they're in the member login section, along with the minutes from the previous e-board and general membership meeting. If you've looked at the financials, you'll see that we are well below what we thought, where we thought we would be at this time this year. No surprise. Revenues held up very well through the end of March. Revenues are gone. We don't have any right now. We've kept expenses down, so we aren't as far in the hole as we would have been otherwise. But for the year, we're about $1.5 million shy of where we projected to be. Having said that, we were in very, very, very good shape financially when all this started. We have reserves. We've spent significant amounts of money, as all of you know, on vacation checks and a number of different things. But we are still in good shape. We have prudent reserves, significant prudent reserves, and we will continue to monitor the situation, and the e-board will look at opportunities to assist as they come up and are required. I don't really have anything else to say about the financials or the minutes. They're there to look at, and if you have any questions, my phone number is in the website. Thank you, President Brown.
Thank you, brother, for your report. Of course, there'd be no voting and no motions made to accept the report because of the format that we're working under today. That moves us now to our business agents report, a very busy business agent. I'll turn this over to Brother Mike Akins.
Thank you, President Brown. First off, I'd like to say thank you to my staff that is constantly working on your behalf. We are still available by phone. We'll continue to be available by phone from the just membership services through the hardship fund, through financials, through auditing, continuing to work as from behind the scenes as every day goes forward. Again, we're here to help you. We're here to answer any questions that you might have. So please feel free to pick up the phone, give us a call. As long as the governor has issued the shelter in place, we will continue to work from home. Once that's been lifted, then we will be back in the hall and here to assist you in whatever you might need. That goes from helping you with hardship letters to your creditors, which is available on the website. There's information on our website about the notices that come out from the studios on a daily, weekly basis. As President Brown said, these things are changing hourly, weekly. We hope to give you the information as quick as possible. So I'm going to encourage you to go directly to our website, to the membership dashboard. When we send out breaking news, they're going to be immediately updated into the coronavirus, COVID-19 category underneath the membership dashboard. So please go there to check in the most current information that we have. A couple of things that I would like to talk to you about is the unemployment. I know that just from working this last couple of weeks, that unemployment and getting signed up and getting the checks to start coming in has been a nightmare for some. For others, it's gone pretty much seamlessly. Some of the things that we could not have foreseen was the Department of Labor Commissioner, Mark Butler, adopted a rule change that Georgia has never seen before and is quite trend-setting in that there's not been very many other states do this. And that is that he has required the employer to file on behalf of their employees to set an unemployment claim. If they do not do that, if your employer does not file on your behalf, they could subsequently be held accountable for 100% of the unemployment. Now, because of our industry and having multi-employers, this has created some difficulty and misunderstandings between our employers, which is not Paramount, which is not Netflix, which is not Warner Brothers or Universal. It is the payroll companies. Well, the payroll companies are multi-employers for all of those studios. So it's being worked out. The studios, the payroll companies, the Department of Labor, your local, are having conversations pretty much daily, if not weekly for sure, in trying to get the information out as to how your unemployment needs to be filed. In addition to that requirement set up by the commissioner, the employer would also be responsible for filing you on a weekly basis to certify for which weeks are your previous weeks. Getting this through would have allowed the Department of Labor to get your checks out quicker and sooner and get them done if the employer had filed. This works for a lot of the traditional employers. With the entertainment industry, it does not. It makes it somewhat more difficult. And so we're trying to work through that process with the commissioner, and I hope to have some confident and realistic, concrete procedures, hopefully next week, to open these things up. I know that, if you will, that the commissioner is passionate about his job. He is doing the best that he can, and that he genuinely wants to get these checks out to our members. The hurdles, if you will, that you're referring to is that for an example, in March of 2019, the Department of Labor filed roughly 19,000 unemployment claims in March of 2019. In March of 2020, they filed over 290,000. His staff hasn't changed. It was not ready for this. It caught him off guard like it did everybody. So please be patient. He is passionate about his job, and we will get through this. Please listen to the breaking newses and the information that we get out to you. There are several sites out there that will help you through this. One of the ones that was released last week was the employer hotline email. That email address is on our website, so you may go there to answer questions and get through there. And hopefully through the other sources that are out there, you may get some answers to your questions about your unemployment. I'm confident that it will get to you. We just need to be a little patient in doing that. And I know that that's difficult for some because some of us haven't worked, or some of you haven't worked since the beginning of February, and this caught you even more off guard. So hopefully in the next week, we can get some of these questions and things ironed out, and we will get those there. In reference to the CARE Act passed by the federal Congress, that act is in place. That $600 that is supposed to be added to your weekly benefit, I believe started going out on Monday. It is retroactive. So again, be patient through this process. I'm confident that it will get to you. Again, be patient, work with us, and the office is still open. You have my cell phone number, and I will try to do and help you with individual processes on your unemployment, because there is a wide variety of things that may affect your unemployment that most of us do not see or will be able to work through. And if you'll contact me, I'll try to work you through those things. Please stay home, stay safe, and just as soon as we get out of the shelter in place, we will be back working at 100% again. Mr. Brown, President Brown, that's my report.
Thank you, Brother Akins. Listen, I want to just add to Brother Akins' report in reference to this unemployment snafu that we're dealing with right now. I just want to extend a sincere word of thanks to two members who have been, unilaterally helping members navigate this system. So thank you, Glenn Paisan and Kaz Walding, please, both of you. Keep up the good work. These are just members who have decided to take their own personal time. They are not accountants. They are not attorneys. They are members who have navigated this system successfully. You can find them, through our membership, or you can find them on some of the social media sites. But I just wanted to say thank you for going above and beyond and helping out members who are in great need right now. Speaking of people that are helping out members in great need, I'd like to turn this over now to our Vice President, Whit Norris, who has been extremely busy the last few weeks, and he'll get you caught up to speed on how things are going on his end. Brother Norris.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. Anyway, as far as the hardship committee, we have continued since our last meeting. We have helped out 8 members with medical hardships. And there was another member that we helped out, and I want to thank President Brown for going to her aid. Her home was damaged in a tornado, and their front door was destroyed more or less. And Ray oversaw having that door fixed and replaced, and I appreciate that, Ray. Thank you. I thank Johnny and Tasha, who are always part of the hardship committee and supporting us and our membership, and myself. That's all I've got, really, Ray. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Vice President Norris. I asked our e-board to, under the circumstances, to keep their reports brief. And while Vice President Norris's report was brief, and thank you for that, I do know that you're spending an incredible amount of time working with members, even above and beyond the scope of the hardship committee. So Whit, and you're never going to tell anybody all the things you do, but I know the things you do, and thank you from the bottom of my heart, sincerely.
Thank you, Ray.
Guys, that brings us to our education director's report. Brother Amick, go ahead. We're having a little difficulty here. Kevin Amick, can you hear us?
I can, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, brother, you're up.
All right. Just a brief report on the education. We have moved to an e-learning platform while we're in our shelter-in-place situation. We're being successful in doing so at this time. We'd ask that just be patient with us as we get some more courses online. Watch for the calendar. We're trying to get as much as these available and as quick as we can, but it is a process. And for those that have attended classes in the last week or so, we thank you for taking that time. Please continue to look at emails. We're sending emails out for courses through the Training Trust Fund. Now is a good opportunity to take advantage and complete your area standard agreement safety courses that are all online. This is the A2, and the harassment prevention. We have had a significant increase in these courses since we've been out since March the 13th. Some have completed already, some have registered. We would ask that you just log back in and complete those courses. We've had 46% of our membership have actually put in a registration for these courses. We still got some way to go to get at 100%, but our members have always excelled and proved that we are Atlanta strong. And again, I want to encourage each of you to please take this time, register for those courses and complete those. Also, there's additional safety courses available through the Safety First, through the Training Trust Fund. Take advantage of that, as well as the linked learning. Anybody that has questions in regard to what's happening in education, please send an email to myself or to our training email, and we'll be happy to answer any of those questions that you may have. And just continue to watch out for the calendar for upcoming courses. We'll try to get those listed as quick as we can. Mr. President, that's my report for today, and I thank you.
Thank you, brother. That will take us to Brother Cheatham, AFL-CIO delegate report. Did you have anything to report today, Brother Cheatham?
No, sir. No report today.
Okay, thank you very much. Sister Foy, the Georgia Labor Council.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everyone. Just a really brief report. It was announced in March that Sandra L. Williams will take over as executive director for the Atlanta North Georgia Labor Council as Katie Foster has retired. There was also a reminder that the presidential primaries as well as statewide elections will take place on Tuesday, June 9th. And also, please take the time to respond to the 2020 census. As we are below the national response rate, we're currently at 47.5. The national response rate is 50.2. It's important for funding of local municipalities as well as congressional representation. And then there are some COVID-19 support numbers for veterans. There are support numbers at Emory, at the Georgia Department of Public Health, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And there's also an emotional support hotline that I think at some point will be listed on our website. So just want to say, be safe out there, and hopefully we'll all see each other in person soon. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Delegate Sister Foy. Thank you very much for that. I hope folks will take advantage of reaching out to some of these organizations that you referenced. If anyone needs more information on that, please reach out to Sister Foy. she's got some great information she can get to you in reference to those things that she referenced or talked about, excuse me. Committee reports. As you know, I made the personal decision to shut all of our committees down. I certainly did not want the responsibility of requiring folks to get together and work during this pandemic. So all committee work to this point has been temporarily suspended. I do wish to thank my committee chairs for hanging in there with me. Of course, Whit Norris, Kevin Cheatham, Myra Foy, Nate Dahlkemper, and those that surround them that keep these committees strong and going. We will be back, and we will have strong committee work going again, hopefully sooner than later. Brother Thigpen reached out to me in reference to a Board of Trustees report. Obviously, the Board of Trustees is standing down at the time as well. All this in reference to the shelter in place and social distancing orders that we're put under. Brothers and sisters, as I'm going through the agenda, clearly we will not be voting in any new members. We are not accepting any new member applications right now. All of that has been suspended until further notice. Okay, you want to get into that? Okay.
That's up to you.
Sure, I'll toss that over to you. Unfinished business, none. New business we cannot really conduct without a membership voting and approval. So we're basically in a defensive position right now. Before we wrap things up, I'll turn it back over to Mike Akins to get you caught up on a little political action that's been going on.
Thank you, President Brown. On the state side of politics, as you know, the legislative session has been suspended pending the ability to get back together in mass groups. At some point, they will have to re-adjourn and pass a state budget. We're not real clear as to when that will happen, but it will have to happen in the state. Consensus is right now that the governor may call them back in to pass or address the state budget, or at least look into that. Not knowing what the economics are of the COVID-19 thing, the state is going to have to make some adjustments. In doing so, there are several bills out there that we were watching and following through this legislative session in reference to our tax credits. I believe that probably the actions that will be taken is that these will probably most likely be dropped in its entirety at this point, this session, and then be brought back up at the 2021 session. So as soon as we have further information about that, we will pass that along. On the national front, kudos to those of you who wrote a letter out at the beginning of March when we were trying to convince the federal government to include us in the CARES Act. Our IATSE political rep, Tyler, has sent out a new email recently letting everyone know that we wrote over 100,000 letters to legislators in Washington, and we were included in the CARES Act. We'd like to encourage you to write those same congressmen to thank them for what they did. So not only did we write them 100,000 letters to ask them to help us, now we need to turn around and thank them for doing so. So please reach out and send those letters out. There is a link inside our website on the membership dashboard that'll take you directly to that. So again, just as soon as we hear about the state legislative session and where it's going and what we think is going to happen there, we'll get a breaking news out to you and inform you of that, those actions that's coming. Thank you, President Brown.
Thank you, brother.
One in closing when you get ready.
Excuse me?
I have one for closing.
I think we're ready. Would you like to do that now?
Sure.
Go ahead.
In closing, I'd also like to ask our membership to remember that Billy Deacon is our substance abuse, what is it? What would it be? director, thank you. Substance abuse director, and that also includes mental health, emotional health, all those things. We've had several of our members reach out to him over this, and this is emotional times for a lot of members. The fact of not knowing, not having a confident idea of when you're going to go back to work, the stresses associated with having to shelter in your children, teaching them from home has upset all of our lives. Please reach out to Billy if we can do anything for you. He's there, he's capable, and there's several programs out there that we can inform our members of and help. If you know anyone that is struggling, please reach out. If nothing else, just to talk to them, let them know that we're here, that we're going to get through this. And your local is here to help you. Thank you, President Brown.
Mike, thank you so much for remembering to get that message out there. You know, as a younger technician in the business, I'm sure we all at some point, I found myself in some tough situations, and it's always nice to have the phone call that you can make, that someone will pick up on the other end. And we are prepared to take your phone call. Billy Deacon is an amazing human being for a lot of reasons, and once you contact him, that is kept strictly between the two of you. It's a very private moment in everyone's life, and we do our best around here to keep that, you know, to an absolute minimum, those who get involved in helping. So please reach out to us in that way, or have members reach out to us that you know are in need in that way. All right, as we head towards adjourning the meeting, I just wanted to, while I have my executive board on the screen in front of me, I just want to give anybody an opportunity. I know this is unusual and not really how we normally run things here, but I would open it up to anyone on the executive board, or you, Brother Giolito, if you'd like to make a comment or a remark at this time. Just raise your hand so I can recognize you and get your microphone turned on. Okay, there being no further comments, I'll close the meeting with the executive board that you all can see on your screen right now. One day after this occurred, one business day after this occurred, I called an emergency meeting to the executive board. And the executive board that you see in front of you cares enough about you to take their time and execute the plan that we all talked about and that we all put together. We were able in one day to cancel the events, very tough decisions that we needed to cancel. We're able to take all that money and allocate it back into the vacation fund checks and raise that from 25 to 33.33%. We were able to go from if I may use a football analogy, we were able to go from a power offense that we've been running for the last 7 years. Offense, lower your head, drive through it. We're going to do great amounts of work, great amounts of people working. Here's what we can do for our members with the money that's coming in. All this was an offensive play. And in one day, we went to defense. And we've been playing nothing but defense since March 13th. But we're playing a power defense. And those are the people that you're looking at right now on the screen, your executive board. And I can't thank you enough, guys, honestly, for acting so quickly, for being positive and knowing that our members are going to need this, and being able to do these things and not have to have this linger on for weeks and weeks and weeks, to pay the members that needed their third quarter health insurance paid, to pay people's dues to make sure that they're not suspended, to suspend any late fees, to put that money into members' hands. These decisions were made in one business day. not a week and not a month, one day. I am so utterly proud to be your president, and I'm so proud to serve with you all, forward thinkers. And there's more we're going to do, and there's more we can do. But because of the unstable climate, we hesitate to make any decisions for what we might be able to do in May or June because we don't know what's coming in May or June. We're hoping at the end of this month, the stay-at-home order will be lifted. And that's what we've got right now. We're going to hold on to that hope. We're going to hold on to our strength. With very little exception, your composure and your strength has been amazing, all of you. Very little exception. We've had some very worried members on both sides of the spectrum, able to talk them down, but for the 90% of us is driving through this thing and staying strong about it. And we will get past this, and we will get through this, and we will be working again, and God willing, we'll be able to hug each other. I look forward to that. I have no further business, brothers and sisters. In a perfect world, I'll see you in June in person, and in not such a perfect world, we'll see you in June again as we're coming to you now. I wish nothing but the best for your family, for you, safety. As Brother Aiken said, stay safe, stay home until this thing is lifted. Do all the right things, be courteous. If you need something, please call. Don't say no to yourself. Call, we'll get things done. We'll get you together with people that can help. If we can't help, otherwise we'll take some action and we'll get you squared away somehow. We'll get through it, brothers and sisters. I appreciate your time today. E-Board, you know how I feel about you. Thank you so much. We'll continue to communicate more than we ever have before, as we have in the last few weeks. And Godspeed to everybody. Stay healthy. Hug your loved ones. And God bless. And we'll see you in a couple of months. Thanks, everybody. Meeting adjourned.
Stay safe.